is going to be a thoughts on the entire season 2 of Star Wars Tales, or Tales of the Empire. I am not going to split the different episodes into different sections as I have in the past on account of physical pain, but just to confirm, this video will cover the path of fear, the path of anger, the path of hate, devoted realization, and the way out. And I really wish that I could say that I thought this was an improvement on... I'm just going to be calling it Season 1. When I say Season 1 for this show, I am talking about Tales of the Jedi. It's going to get really awkward if I have to say Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire. Tales of the Empire Season 2, Tales of the Jedi Season 1. Yeah, like Season 1, it feels like member berries. You know, you've got lines that are either direct quotes, Grievous says, wipe them out, all of them, like the Emperor said in The Phantom Menace. I forget if anyone directly said, fear is my ally. Like, when I hear that, the first thing that pops into my head is, the Force is my ally, which Yoda said in Empire Strikes Back, but yeah. Sometimes it's a direct quote, sometimes it's like a riff, because it does feel like, the Force is the ally of the Jedi, fear is the ally of the, I suppose, maybe not Sith, but Inquisitors, yeah. Yeah, it feels like it's here to remind people what they love about Star Wars, which, yeah, there is a lot to love about Star Wars. It is one of my favorite franchises. I just don't think we need, in total, let's see, this is like an hour, not quite 90 minutes, only if you count end credits, but yeah, like an hour. I really did not feel like it justified that length. And I hate to say that about some, like, there's so much to love here. There's a real focus on minorities, which, I am 100% on board with. Diversity is their strength. I really appreciate they had, this features a non-binary Jedi. Everyone refers to, I didn't catch their name, but, the Jedi that's hiding in the mountains in episode 5, I want to say it is, everyone refers to them as they. The little kid, both bears, like, even the villain still respects the non-binary, gender pronoun. So just, it is a matter of course, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, Bear is female, so is Morgan Elsbeth, who is also Asian. There's there's an additional Asian in the at least one, maybe two. Yeah, I think two of the Morgan episodes. Yeah, there's a lot to love, but yeah, it just really felt like, what are they accomplishing other than brand awareness? Let's see. Yeah. As with the first season, 100% atmosphere and fight choreography, absolutely amazing. It just, the episodes are too short to get enough emotional engagement, and there's such, like, some of the episodes, there'll be a really big time jump between two episodes, so it's like, well, you can't depend on us having enough emotional investment in the current situation based on previous episodes because of this time jump. Yeah, I really appreciated the points about fascism. We see examples of how fascism is a death cult. It's like they're like, okay, so we have two candidates for the new Inquisitor. We only need one. We'll have them fight to the death. Even though they appear to be, like, basically friends, like they knew each other before the events of this show. Maybe they weren't super fond of each other, but it's still, pretty extreme thing to do, but it is the kind of thing that fascism, promotes. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Episode 2 had the thing of how fascists steal from those that they have more power than, which is, that's one of the many, many reasons why democracy is better than fascism. It isn't always true of democracy, but hypothetically, and in democracy, you have protections against having someone just steal. They say, oh, we weren't never interested in your designs. We just wanted to know, like they looked at the price issue and they were like, how could she possibly, oh, she must know a place that has vast resources. We're going to find out from her, we're going to trick her into admitting what, where to go for that. Yeah, if obviously it's cool to see, like, I appreciate getting a little bit more information about Morgan. I don't think it was anything that we couldn't have really pieced together ourselves. I think if they had just done one episode on her, which again, I hate to say, because I do really appreciate the representation here. But yeah, what the really good stuff about her, we could have learned in just one episode. Yeah, it feels drawn out. It feels like there's some focus group thing that determined, oh, a 10-minute episode, that's, I can imagine it's probably like, oh, if it's shorter than that, people are going to feel like, well, that wasn't even an entire story, that was like a TV spot, or, I guess they are shorts, I was going to say, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I do appreciate, she has that line, and my world's always been on fire. She never recovered from the trauma of losing her people, which, completely understandable. I'm not saying, there's something wrong with that. However, she chose to hurt others. When people who are abused, not always, but a number of them end up either victimizing someone else or basically vowing to do what they can to prevent others from being victimized. And to be clear, I'm not saying, I'm not asking for a perfect victim. I'm not saying that you're, like automatically an evil person for, if you have been victimized, that can be very difficult to recover from. However, it is true that a number of the people who victimize others have themselves been victimized. That's what we see here with Morgan. I appreciate that. And yeah, obviously it's cool to see Darth Vader again, but he does nothing. Like, he walks and he sits and that's it. And we don't need that. The fact that Berezovsky worked for Darth Vader for 5 minutes doesn't change anything. It's really too bad. Yeah, pretty much the same thing for Thrawn. We already knew that he and Morgan worked together before. We're just seeing them meet. We already knew that Thrawn doesn't always go along with other Empire stuff. Yeah. Like, it feels like an ad for other Star Wars, and again, I'm not saying, like, I am in favor of promoting Star Wars. There's a lot to love about Star Wars. I would just, I would recommend pretty much, yeah, all of the, pick one at random, other than, I don't know for sure about Ewoks and droids, but the rest of them, yeah, pick one at random, throw darts at a dartboard that has, pick names out of a hat. Any of the other animated Star Wars, all the way back from Clone Wars, and all the way to, yeah, all the way up to the, yeah, season 3 of the Bad Batch. That's the thing. We just got the conclusion to the Bad Batch. I think that's one of the best, Star Wars things in recent years. I really don't think that we should have to settle for this kind of thing. Like, if this was just like 90-second ad that just reminded us of some of the favorite characters and just ended with, stream all this on Disney Plus, that would be fine. I don't have a problem with promotion in and of itself. I just don't think that you should hide promotion in something that's supposed to be a franchise entry when, yeah, I just don't, if you disagree, please put in the comments what you think this added that was really worthwhile. I mean, at least we didn't have to pay extra for it. Those of us already subscribed to Disney Plus, it was free. That's nice, at least. And losing 1 hour of my life, I can live with that. But I just, honestly, yeah, I feel like it dilutes the brand, and that's something, recent Star Wars, way too much nostalgia, too little taking chances, and again, doesn't have to be this way. Like, I think Star Wars Visions, both seasons that are out so far, substantially better than this, and much more daring and interesting. And I hope that they focus on that sort of thing. I'm looking forward to, let's see, I want to say Acolyte is the one that's coming out. I guess it's like a month from now. Yeah, I think the trailer looks good. There's, some of the stuff I've heard about it sounds interesting. The cast is amazing, obviously. Although that's not always the cast has been amazing for each of these. I haven't loved all of the live action, Disney Plus Star Wars. Largely I'm happy with what Disney has done with Star Wars. I just wish they would take more chances. I think that's that's where they excel. Let's not forget, under George Lucas, like, I don't agree with everything he did, but he tended to take chances, and often, a lot of the time, that paid off. A New Hope wasn't popular because it was like, oh, wow, I've seen this thing 100 times before, that's amazing. No, it was because it's like, I mean, okay, it has like a million things I've seen individually in a bunch of different places, but I've never seen them together. I've never, like, the special effects were completely, like, it blew people's minds, not because it was playing it safe, but because it was taking chances. And I really hope they get back to that, which I appreciate. Disney, big company, they spend a lot of money on this. They're not super keen on taking chances. But yeah, I'm all for more diversity in Star Wars. I just recommend, the Bad Batch has, like, disabled representation, and a strong case could be made of reading Omega as transgender. She was cloned from a male host. All the other clones came out male, or, yeah, most of them. She came out female. There's a, perhaps not literal transgender, but you could read it as that. And she's a great character. Let's see. Yeah, Ahsoka, the show, that one has great representation, and I thought that was substantially better than either season of this show. But here's hoping that, it's not quite clear if there's going to be a third season of this. I mean, certainly the format, you could keep going with this for forever, but hopefully they will eventually start taking more chances, or just focus on other franchise entries that take more chances. I'm really looking forward to, if I understand correctly, we are getting season 3 of Star Wars Visions, and yeah, that is going